I'm Shell.
And I'm Judi. We are the two Loco ladies, and welcome to the craziest podcast around, I guess.
Well, at least the most loco.
You got that right.
Hey, you
Okay.
know what? We just assumed everybody knows what loco is, but do they?
For those who don't live in Texas, maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know, because I grew up here, and when I was little, we used to go, "You're loco in the cabeza," and we used to go, "You're loco, you're loco." Did y'all used to do that where you grew up?
No, no, we didn't.
Okay, so that's how I know what loco is.
I I had a Chicano roommate in the
Uh-huh.
military.
Okay.
It's probably, and I learned a lot of other bad words from Lisa.
Well, I don't really think that's considered bad, but or it didn't used to be. I don't know anymore. Maybe
No,
it is.
that Loco's not bad. I'm just saying I learned Loco
You
and a lot of
bad.
bad words.
Okay. Well, I know all the bad words too. So okay.
We won't
So
use
now
those
we've
words
covered that.
here.
Right. So now we covered that. If you don't know what loco is, it means crazy,
And
basically.
we are that. So, what's in your freeze dryer this week, Miss Shell?
Well, actually, nothing right now because I just finished a load and now I have a little message coming up on there that says you have something to this effect. You have done 20 loads. Now you need to change your oil. And I'm like, oh, scary time. I've never done this before. So,
I was a little intimidated. I guess my machine is older than yours, so I got the message not at 20 loads, but if you have the basic pump, it's time to change your oil now. And I don't know if I ever got the message to change my oil for the premier pump. Remember when my pump blew apart and the
mm-hmm.
top came flying off? That's when I changed my oil for the first time. And it looks like it comes with your freeze dryer. It's just like a little water filter,
Yeah.
and you just you open it up and unscrew it so it starts draining out the bottom, and it just drains into that, and that filters it. And I won't lie, it took a few days for it to filter. Now,
What?
yeah, it took a few days for it to all run through that. So I closed everything off. I put that aside and let it filter. And I had bought a brand new oil and I put it in, and put the lid on it and just started running my next load.
Okay. So this totally peeves me then because it has been raining here nonstop. And you know that because, first it seems like you get the storms because you're down below me. And then they move up sideways to me. So whatever didn't, fizzle out on you, I get the rest of usually. And I've been waiting for all of this to blow over and die out so I can start my next load. Now I have this message, and it's going to take me a couple of days. Well, at least I have time to get my next loads ready.
Yeah, it just, I, I don't think my oil, it's not the machine oil when you put it in is like clear, not like a vegetable oil, like a light tan or a light yellow. The oil, once it's filtered through, is now
Mm-hmm.
like a very, very, very light tan. It's not really discolored like some of the pictures that I've seen. But yeah, it did take almost a day for it all to, probably more than a day. Like I said, I knew I wasn't going to be using that, so I just set it aside for later and dumped the new oil in the filter and ran on new oil. Next
Okay.
time I will drain it into the water pitcher and put what I filtered back into the pump.
Okay, so maybe that's what I'll do then because I did buy extra oil when I bought my machine. So maybe I'll just set mine aside and let it do its filter and save it for the next
Yep.
oil change, and then I'll do that. That sounds like a good idea because I don't want to lose my time now that it's finally not raining.
And not bloody hot where you're going to get the message that says your
Yeah,
load is going to take longer because it's too hot.
yeah. Like You know how you can change the name on your machine? You should be able to customize your messages too, to where whenever it says that it's too hot, you should be able to say, "I'm having a hot flash."
That would be cute considering mine's called Ricinator having a hot flash.
Oh, so cute! I named mine Tail Wapney. Is that how you say it? Tail Wapney.
You named it what?
Okay, so it's the first letter of every word, the end of the world as we know it. So if you said it as a word, I pronounce it Tail Wapney. I don't
That's
know how you
cute.
say it.
I never
That's what
tried
I
to
named
pronounce it. My husband named ours, so he named it the Ricinator.
mine. How cute. I don't let my husband anywhere near mine.
He hasn't done a load per se, but he's been there holding, like I said, that first time I had to push that start button. I mean, and for those of you who've never seen a freeze dryer, there it's like a little touch screen in the upper right hand corner, and it's all touch. So you have to push that continue and push that start, and it just was just
Yes.
I'm scared.
Like I've done it at least 20 times now, and I still like hyperventilate a little bit before I push go. It's like or start. I'm like, am I ready for this?
I'm getting better at it. I don't know how many loads I've done. I've now I do know how many loads I've done since I've started keeping records, and I think it's important. I wish I had started record keeping the very first load I did. But I know right now, like I don't have to wait for that message. I know I am on load 19 in my freeze dryer right now. So I know I'm going to do one more load and then I'm going to switch the oil out. But record keeping is so important because yeah.
Yeah. So I did not do any record keeping because I was like, oh, cool, yay. Oh, I was just like, I'm gonna do this. And I don't know, I'm one of those fly by the seat of my pants kind of girls. So, and I had like a lot going on. You know what I had going on at
Yes.
the time, Judi. Like I was driving back and forth 8 hours and I was like trying to squeeze that in between my little trips and everything else. And I don't know, it just like never occurred to me. And then whenever I started like hearing you talk about, I thought you was my oil and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I bought some of that oil stuff, but I don't know when I'm supposed to do it, or I'm supposed to do it every once in a while. I thought I just did it when it looked like it needs it. Oh, I don't even know what it looks like when it needs it. So I was so glad I had you because like every time I hit a little beep, I'm like, hey, what do I do?
I am glad that it does keep track of the loads. But I did a couple of candy loads and I'm not sure how it keeps track of the candy loads because when you do candy, it doesn't go into the deep freeze. It just goes into the vacuum drying. So how does
Oh,
it, but now I have a little notebook. It's much like this notebook and I keep the load number. I've just started adding what temperature is outside, what the humidity is outside, what I'm freeze drying, where I got the food that I'm freeze drying, what time I started, the date, and the load number. And then when I start weighing it out, I have it by trays because with freeze dry, when it stops losing the weight, it means that it's done. Hopefully. Fingers
okay.
crossed.
So I'm feeling like I haven't been even close to nerdy enough.
I like that.
You're
You call it being nerdy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a super nerd already because like I'm the only person I know, like in my personal, like other than you, in my little personal ring of people that has a freeze dryer, and the people that know I have when they're like, you do what?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so I
Exactly.
feel like a super nerd already, and then I talk to you, and I'm like, oh, oh yeah, I don't do that. Am I supposed to do that? Oh,
Well, I know that I didn't for more than the first 20 loads. Candy you can get done in 4 hours. So some days I would do, if somebody was asking me for candy, I'd do a couple loads a day.
oh wow.
And I didn't keep track of that at all.
Because
So
so I've never done candy, so I don't know about any of that. I did my bread run and then I just jumped straight into the literally the taters. The taters and the carrots.
well, I did what did I do first? I think I did chicken and
Yeah, I've done some
stuff
chicken.
from my garden first, but then people are like, "Oh, can you strawberries?" I do tons of strawberries for the bunnies, and I had given somebody some strawberries, and they're like, oh, can you do Skittles? And the girls were like, ooh, can we do gummy bears? And I'm like, okay, let's try it. But like I said, they're 4 to 6 hours a batch. So they're like yesterday, the batch I took out, what was it in there? 36, 40 hours.
Yeah, see, that's since I'm doing like real food, mine is always usually about that
Yeah.
long. That's why you're always beating me at loads. I'm always like, mine's still going, but I always chalk mine up to I'm superhuman, so that's why.
And that's why I've started. So I can, when I label my Mylar bags or my canning jars, I always put the number of load that it was. So I can go back if something's wrong or off with that, and I can see how long I freeze dried it for, where I got the food from, and all that information to figure out if this is bad. Did I do another batch of eggs at the same time? Do I need to go check that batch? So
Oh, that's a good thought flow there. Yeah, yeah.
it's an expensive investment. You want to make sure that you're getting the oil change. If something, now I did put in my notes too when I blew the top off my pump, so I put that in there.
Shouldn't that have counted as an oil change right there by itself? You just blew it all out.
Now when the top came off, it's a the top, the black screwy part is called a demister.
Yeah, something
And
like that.
it was, there was mist all over my family room, and I'm just like,
Oh my gosh.
is that oil? Is that water mist? I don't know what it was. We just turned it off and called, just like, help fix it. And the guy's like, you did what?
Oh my goodness.
But I have that in my records, so I have the date that I called and what he said to do, and that they sent us the new part and everything. So
So when we make this, when we get this, whatever we've decided to call it, compiled and put together that we've been talking about almost every episode now, we should go ahead and put a maintenance schedule in there. I think that's a great idea.
oh, that would be not just a food log of what you're doing, but an actual maintenance log. That's,
Yeah.
yeah, I need to write that down. So you have nothing in your freeze dryer, but what you just still doing, I was gonna say peppers and carrots, potatoes, potatoes, potatoes.
I need to do bananas again. So I have a whole bunch of bananas that went ripe too fast that I have frozen and ready to sling in there.
I have sliced bananas, strawberries, guacamole, and peas and carrots in mine right now.
Carrots, like Forrest and Jenny.
Yeah, peas and carrots. And Jenny is somewhere around here. I don't know. That's the cat, remember?
You named the cat Jenny.
I was thinking Harry Potter, Jenny.
Oh, but now you need a Forrest.
But my husband's like, and we're gonna call her Jenny or how do
That's so great. You know, my oldest son, he loved that movie Forrest Gump, and he would watch it over and over and over again. And his dad was a truck driver, over the road truck driver, and he would always ask him every time he would tell him that he was in Alabama. He would say, "Daddy, are you in Greenbow, Alabama? Did you go there?" And he would say, "No, son." And he'd say, "Next time when I get to ride with you, Daddy, I want to go to Greenbow, Alabama." I didn't have the heart to tell him it wasn't a real place. But his like whole growing up, he was just like, I'm gonna go there one day. I'm gonna go Greenbow, Alabama. I'm gonna
now,
meet Forrest.
have you taken him to Bubba Gump's shrimp house?
No, where is that?
There's one at the Mall of America that we've been to, but we recently, when we went to Universal, there is on City Walk, there is a Bubba Gump's.
Interesting. I'll have to tell him.
They'll ask you trivia questions, and there's all sorts of paraphernalia from the movie up. It's kind of cool.
Ah, cool.
But
Well, maybe that'll make him feel better since he's never gonna go to Greenbow, Alabama.
okay. Bubba Gump's Shrimp House. There might be other ones. I don't know. Maybe you could check. Ugh, I know how to talk. Maybe you could check Dallas.
Good idea.
Uh, There's not one that I know of in Austin or in San Antonio. So maybe in Houston or Dallas. I don't.
Well, I did not milk anything this week, did you?
Oh, and you didn't milk? No, I did not. I watched a couple of videos on how to milk a goat, but no, I did not milk anything.
But you did have some excitement this week with animals. You got baby chicks.
It was Mother's Day, so I got 4 baby chicks and a chicken coop that's currently parked in Chelsea's parking space.
That's awesome.
She doesn't think so.
I forgot, what kind of chicks did you say you got?
I think they're Easter eggers. They went and got it Tractor Supply.
Mhm.
And they're supposed to be hens because they're supposed to be sexed. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Just not 100%.
no. So, but they're cute and they're little. And right now it's, what is it, 90 degrees here? It's 94 degrees here. So they're out in the shed and you're supposed to have the lamp on them. And I'm just like, I'm going to cook those little chickens. So I had to open the windows and it's still like 90 degrees. I'm like, okay, you're good.
Yeah, we're almost to the where you don't have to worry about that so much. What you have to worry about now is whenever a rainstorm comes through at night and it's cold and wet, and I had that little issue a couple of years ago. I don't know if I talked about it on a previous video or not, but I got 16 chicks while you were gone to Disneyland running your marathon, and I've lost 2 of them.
Oh,
So I know. So they always send a mystery chick because I get mine in the mail. And I have come to this conclusion because the mystery chick always dies, even though it looks healthy. And I have come to the conclusion that these are just the runts left over and they just throw it in there with people's orders. So if the chicks want to pick on one of them, they pick on that one that you didn't pay for, and then you're not mad and ask for a refund on your chick that died.
that sounds like a good assumption. I'm not sure I like it, but that sounds,
Well, I mean, every single time I order one, the mystery chick dies. I don't understand it. So I know it can't be because they're sick, because if they were sick, they would make your chicken sick.
right.
So I don't know. I'm guessing that's what it is. So anyway, we lost the mystery chick. And then I lost one of mine that I did pay for. I don't know what happened to it. It was like it was playing when I went to bed, and the next morning it was just laying there like, oh. And I was like, oh, what did you do to yourself? So everything is all good now. I finally moved them outside. We kept having all those storms, and I was afraid to put them outside. Oh, sorry. I'm just all, oh, check this out. This is not purposeful show and tell. This is just, ADD or something. Um, so I put them outside, and we made the transition. I got them in a tarped area whenever it rains. So they survived the rain. They're doing great. But that one batch that I had put outside early before, I thought that we were past, the temperature drops and all that. We didn't know it was supposed to rain. Like we had checked the weather and everything, and it didn't show even rain supposed to be on the forecast. And so we're like, great, this is a good night to move them out. It's warm enough. I'm tired of keeping them in my laundry room. And in the middle of the night, we wake up and we're like, oh no. And it's not like just rain, it's like a boom, thunder, straight down pour. And I thought, well, this ain't good. So the next morning, my husband went out there and he comes back in. He's all like, they're all dead. They're all dead. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, it looks like the wind just picked them up and just threw them around. And I was like, oh no. And so I was kind of sad, and I was like, I don't feel like going out there and dealing with this right now. So a little while later, I was like, am I crazy? Because I swear I hear baby chicks going cheep, 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 cheep. And finally I was like, go out there and look. That's what my mind was telling me. Go out there and look. Maybe you're not crazy. So I went out there, and sure enough, there was 4 of them, and they were like, tweet, 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 tweet. And I was like, oh! So I grabbed a towel and I scooped them all up, and I tried to rub them and warm them. And I thought, oh no, if only I had gone there sooner and just hadn't, trusted my husband that they were all dead, maybe there would have been more than 4. But I wound up, nursing those and warming them back, and they lived, those 4. So they were some tough old birds. We still have them, but Yeah. And that was the 4th of July week. So it's not like it was winter. That was summer.
Yeah, Texas with their storms. I mean, this past week in Blanco, it takes me about what, an hour and a half to get to Blanco. So not that far in Texas time. But they had baseball larger size hail.
Oh man.
So, I did get my coop is covered once I
Yeah.
get it together. Uh, so I guess it'll be protected from hail from the top, but I don't know about where you are, but here, that hail, my daughter's car, she's gonna have to make a claim because she's got hail damage all down the side of it from the storm last week.
Yeah. I mean, baseball size hail is pretty big.
Yeah, no,
We haven't.
no chicken's gonna survive a baseball.
I know, right? Boom, you're dead.
Yeah,
Woo. It's like an asteroid hitting a human for a chicken. We need to go
I
back.
think we're finished with hail. I'm finished with hail. I don't know about you. I'm done.
Oh, well, what was
I'm
that other
ready
thing we said we were
for
going to
it to
talk about?
be hot and dry and having to water. This storm season has been unbelievable. I sent you pictures that we actually had the tornado sirens go off the night that Marilyn's car got really ding dong, whatever. And my inside room with no windows is under the stairs where I keep all of my, well, not all, but a lot of my prepping stuff. And I was showing you that. So I have two shelves in there, and they're 2 by 2, but they're on wheels. So if we have a tornado warning, I just wheel them out, put them in the hallway, and then we can go into the closet.
Yeah, I think you should blog this or put it on our blog, the picture of the closet in this cart, because it's like really impressive. I was like, wow, that closet was like made for this cart and like what you're doing with it. And I think like more people should like study your idea here and do it that live in our area at least.
And the one thing that I keep on the one cart is all of our first aid supplies. Like there's a first aid kit, there's bandages, there's Neosporin, there's rubbing alcohol, um, dog treats. That's not first aid, but dog treats. And all that stuff wouldn't be in with us in the protected area. It would be just outside the door. So if something should happen and I get the door open, it would be like right there within arm's reach. And we do keep bottled water. And now we have added bicycle helmets to this closet because my husband was watching the news and they said you should have bike helmets in your tornado shelter.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that, but that kind of makes sense. You want to protect your noggin.
Yeah, so we have, he and I have bike helmets because we bike, and then he found one for my daughter who still lives at home and threw it in there. I don't know where it came from, but so there's 3 bike helmets in there. I don't know.
Well, now I need to get bike helmets.
Yep.
Maybe just follow me for a minute.
Okay.
Maybe this was somebody's great idea just to, increase their bike helmet sales because, no one buys those anymore because that's like your special ed helmet.
I know that people who adults, not people, adults who bike for recreation, like my sister is on a biking team, quote unquote, in Chicago. It's not a team, but they go biking different places in Chicago every week. And they all wear helmets because she posts pictures or somebody tags her in pictures. She did one for Mother's Day.
Yeah, that makes sense if you're doing it professionally and, long distances and stuff. But I don't think people that are just jumping on their bike and just taking a little ride around that neighborhood are doing it.
Yeah, definitely. I'll see people drive by or pedal by the house and they don't have helmets on. It's just us weirdos who do, go out and do 10, 20 miles in a day, which is easier than running 10 or 20 miles.
Right.
Rough.
Yeah, well, and that makes sense too if you're driving or if you're driving now, I'm doing it. If you're riding your bicycle that far because you're going into unfamiliar territory, or maybe even if you're familiar with it, by the time you get there, there could be something in the road that flips your bicycle or makes you veer off the road and take a tumble.
Yep. So it's safety, always safety. And I'm I watching those TikToks. I am Gen X. I was born in 66. So I am Gen X starts in 65. So I'm on like the old end of Gen X. I never wore a bicycle helmet till I was an adult.
Yeah, so I'm Gen X too, but I'm at the young end of it. So, um, yeah, we never wear a helmet either. That's why I was like, people make fun of you, then they say you're special if you need a helmet.
I do remember not so much the boys, because my my son and my goddaughter are gonna be, yeah, they were born in 87. So 87 and 90. So not so much the boys, but the girls who were 96 and 97, they all wore helmets, but we lived on military bases where you had a bike, you had to have a helmet. It was just
Right.
their rules. So, but definitely, protect that noggin. I'm not saying that the tornado is going to hit you, but give you some protection for your head.
Well, I mean, even if the tornado doesn't hit you, like there's anything could fall off your shelf or fly through the wall or and hit you or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, if you're just like klutz like me, you could trip coming out of the closet and land on your head.
That would be me. That would be me.
I probably, I probably, when I go to get my helmet, I should probably also get the elbow pads and the knee pads.
Which in truth would not be such a bad idea. They come to rescue you, dig you out from the rubble. Ma'am, you were prepared.
Right? Or they'll say, wow, this chick was out riding her bicycle. She got slung into this house.
Okay. We don't know where the bike is, but she's got a helmet and knee pads on. So,
Right? Just probably TMI, but my worst fear whenever it's stormy is I'm gonna have to go use their bathroom and like it's gonna hit while I'm on the toilet. I will be found with my pants down.
totally off topic, but when I went to lab school, there was a couple of EMTs that were going to lab school, and they love to tell stories. And the lady had gotten out of the shower and slipped and got herself
Oh,
wedged between the toilet and the wall. And the EMTs had to come, well, the fire department had to come and
right.
get her out, but they sent the EMTs in first to make sure she was okay. Like, oh,
Oh, that's so embarrassing.
yeah,
Poor
I can
woman.
imagine. I just know. So
Yeah,
so
so
we
just
we don't have a change of clothes in our disaster or tornado shelter. I don't know what you want to call it. We do have all sorts of snacks and water and bicycle helmets. So we have most of the bases covered.
well, that sounds pretty good.
But we'll see.
And I was really impressed with your emergency closet and your shelf and your shelf, your rolling shelf.
Yeah, there's actually two of them, and I want to say they're either 18 by 18 or 24 by 24, and it's perfectly room for two of them before the stairs start coming. So before the angle of the stairs hits them, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
and the prior owners just used it as a coat closet, and I'm just like, we live in Texas. Why do you need a coat closet?
What a waste of space.
Exactly. So, what was it? A year and a half ago, I started, no, must be 2 years ago, I started prepping and putting things away. And I'm like, I need something, because things were just piling up, and we could find anything on Amazon. And these were, I think the shelves were $100 a piece, but they have the big heavy caster wheels on the bottom. And they actually have a thing on the side where you can hang things off of it too. So we got them from Costco. I would definitely recommend them. They were easy to put together, and it took me 2 minutes to get both shelves. Well, first I had to move, because I have like a quilt rack in front of the door. First I had to move the quilt rack into the living room, and then move the shelves into the hallway. So, and then I had to move the two big, 50-pound bags of dog food out, and that took a little bit.
Where do you keep the dog food now?
I keep it in that closet right in front of the shelves, but
Oh, it's still in it. Okay.
oh yeah, it's all back now. We're gonna have another storm, so it'll probably be out by the end of the week. I don't know.
Right.
Definitely worth the investment. So are you, I was talking to somebody else. What are you planting? Are you going to garden anything this year?
Well, I cheated and I went down to Lowe's on Saturday and I got a couple plants to get me a little head start. Well, I figure out the rest since it's getting a little late in the season and I haven't been able to, be serious about it with all the storms we've had here in life. But anyway, so I have me some tomato plants that are, yay high, already grown for me that I can just put in the ground. I need to go put those in the ground, but then I have other ones that I got to keep in containers. I already got those put into containers. I got some herbs. I got some basil, lavender, rosemary, stuff like that. And and then for Mother's Day, my baby boy brought me what are they called? Caladiums? Elephant ears?
Yes, yes, those are gorgeous.
Yes, so I'm excited to have to find a place to go plant those. And I got some little flowers for I think they're vincas for pollinators to bring in some pollinators. So
Now I will tell you, I don't know if I might have told you this last week. So my cucumbers are just blossoming a lot, and you need pollinators for cucumbers because you got the male and the female.
right.
And I was really terrified that after I kicked all the bees out, that I wouldn't have any pollinators. There were bees pollinating my cucumbers the other day. So I already had 2 cucumbers off of my plant.
Well, that's awesome. Hopefully they're not, finding a new place in your house to hole up.
Please no, please. They can be in somebody else's house and just come to visit. I'll be okay with that.
Right.
Yep. So, but
So what's the latest tinfoil hat theory you've heard this week? Any? It's been a while since we talked about any.
do we have to narrow it down to just one?
No, girlfriend, as many as you want. I'm here for it.
And I don't think it's so much the tinfoil hat theories as now they're saying, oh, we were right about that.
Right. They called you crazy, but oh, how do they do that? They just act like it's nothing. Yeah, that happened, and they don't be all like, we're sorry. We threw you under the bus, and we acted like you needed to be committed into the funny farm or anything. They're just like, oh yeah, yeah.
Well, I was just reading before, I got hair stuck up now, that the next big pandemic is going to be the bird flu.
Yeah, keep hearing that one too. And they're talking about like wearing masks again and stuff, and you're just like, okay, I don't think it's been long enough that people that were traumatized have forgotten that yet, or that masks weren't actually effective.
I told you we got one of those digital photos frames.
Yeah.
And I was looking back at all the pictures, and there's this one whole 6 months where all the pictures that we took where everybody was in mask. It's just like, this is ridiculous. I do not want to do this again.
Right. I think a lot of people aren't sorry, I fixed the curtain and now you can see every dust particle. The sun came out. Finally.
Finally.
Anyway, yeah, I get it like in the beginning why we were all like, oh, we've never seen this. We've been told there's a pandemic normally worldwide every 100 years. We're past due. Okay, I'll bite at this. Let's flatten the curve and all that. I was down for it. But then it's like as the stuff went on and then you're just like you're in it and then like stuff just was a little bit nutty. And I remember like it really hit me when I was trying to get a new nebulizer machine for my son that has asthma because his died in the middle of that. And I'm like, seriously? And I'm trying to go to every pharmacy and find one. And I'm like, oh, where this is like the worst place I could go where sick people are to get their medicine. So I did. I masked up. I went to town and I pulled my hair back and put my hair back in a cap and everything I needed to do to like make myself safe. I had wipies and gloves and the whole nine. And then like I took a selfie of myself. And then whenever I looked at myself and I was like, I look like I'm going to rob a bank.
My husband's a lab tech, works in a lab, and there are some things that, yeah, you do have to wear, a mask and gloves and all that. But they were one of the first to do all the masking protocols, and they were one of the last ones that unmasked. And it was just like, this is ridiculous, people. This is, he was also one of the, he actually was one of the first people in Austin that when they finally got a COVID test, had the thing stuck up his nose.
Oh man.
I, I honestly kind of think that there are days when I need just no news, no YouTube, no TikTok, no Facebook, no Instagram. I don't want to hear the theories, because I swear if I hear CNN or MSNBC or Fox News spouting off about something else, I'm just breaking news. It's not breaking news. You're interviewing somebody. Hello, just
Yeah. I feel like they've had us in freak out mode for so long that now if there's not something to freak us out about, it must be a slow news cycle or they can't find a reason to freak us out. So now we'll just say breaking news just to set us in a tizzy because I honestly think they're afraid we might start thinking if they don't keep us rattled.
and I don't know if I told you this theory. Everybody says the radical left is the one protesting, and I think there's conservatives, I think there are liberals, and I think that's okay. We are allowed to think differently and have different ideas and different opinions, and neither one of them are right. I'm okay. I think the problem is where we get these people who are not doing their research. They are just doing the in thing or what feels good and not researching what the motives behind what they're doing. And I think somebody heard it say, research is free on the internet. Just try it. Just make sure you have more than two sources, which
Well,
was always taught.
yeah. So, and this has kind of been proven too. I mean, all the time. The problem is, are people paying attention to see the proof? But these kids, I know that they choose these colleges on purpose because of what you just said. The kids are just showing up because it's cool, or their friends are doing it, or whatever. And sometimes the news will show up and they will interview these people, and you'll get the golden gem where the kid will be like, I don't know why we're here. Our buddies at the other college just said they needed help, and we just showed up, and we're just here to support them. And we have no idea what we're here protesting, but we're protesting.
And I think that's what upsets me the most is,
Yeah.
if that is a cause that is near and dear to your heart, I am all for it. You go for it. Sorry.
Right.
You exercise your freedom of speech. It's those people who are just out there to get their 15 minutes of fame, or because, hey, Joe Blow's going, I got to go too. Or there's,
So I don't know if I should say this, but I guess I can because they're talking about it on the MSM. So maybe that means it's okay if they're talking about it.
of course.
But you know that a lot of these are not even naturally occurring protests. They are instigated and they are funded and they are set up. And they're by organizations. And if you look back to every organization, who funds that organization? It's the same old dude every time. I'm not going to say his name, but I know you know who I'm talking about.
We all know who it is. And
So yeah, and so like the other day, I was like, wow, the MSM is like literally saying his name and admitting they know he's funding it, and people are still have the audacity when you say something about it to act like you're crazy and you need to put your tin hat on.
I didn't hear that. Like I said, I have the news on now, but I have it on mute. If there's real breaking news and I see like flames or ambulances, I may turn the volume up because I'm done. I'm done.
Right. Is this in my backyard? Are we on fire?
Yeah.
Do we need to
I'll look out the
stop?
window. Nope, we're good. Did I hear the sirens? Nope, we're good. Just
Right. Oh my
so I am
goodness.
really surprised that other, believe it, if Fox News and Newsmax don't even say his name.
They're still not. So I have seen little clips from other news outlets where they've started talking about it. Like I don't watch those news channels, but I've seen clips of their, like, a YouTuber or someone else
Wow.
talking about the clip and then showing that little segment of the clip. So I know that MSM is talking about it now and talking and saying the man's name. And that's all we got to say about that. I did hear earlier today that this is okay. This is interesting. When they say something, it's not crazy, and we're supposed to believe it. So remember, whenever they said inflation was transitory and it wasn't gonna last, and
Yep.
what transitory means, it's gonna come and go, and it's not gonna stick around, and it's not gonna be long term. We're gonna come in for a gentle landing and all this stuff. So you probably don't remember that because you have, the attention span of a gnat and the memory of it too. If you think, that we're okay to go back to maths because you don't remember that either. But anyway, apparently today they said, oh, inflation is hotter than we thought. They just admit it. But don't worry because it's probably all going to be okay next year or something. But like you couldn't get it right when you said it was transitory.
And that brings us right back to prepping. I am not prepping for the zombie apocalypse, though I think the zombies are already here. I am prepping for a hurricane or a tornado, or worse yet, when eggs go back to $8 to $10 a dozen, I'm going to have eggs.
Yep.
I'm going to have my own chickens. I'm going to have eggs freeze dried because inflation, I believe, is going to just keep going up. There's going to be another massive breakdown in the supply chain, and I just want to be prepared. I do not want to go through the level of panic that we went through and that we go through. People can't afford to buy their groceries, which brings
Right.
me to, I don't think this is a conspiracy theory, but now people want to cancel all these celebrities who bought um the tickets for the Met Gala at $75,000 and then outfits for I don't even want to know how much their outfits cost.
$75,000.
A ticket. So if you and your significant other went, that's $150,000. They were saying that could buy enough groceries for people for a year with inflation like this, but they, instead of donating their time and their money, they spent it on the Met Gala. So we
Okay,
had
but
to
now
cancel them.
those people that could afford a ticket for $75,000 are hurting so bad they want their money back. That's scary.
They
So
do?
even those, is that what you said? Wait, maybe I
No, no,
misunderstood.
no, no. People on the internet want to cancel those celebrities because,
Oh, I misunderstood what you said. Okay, I got you now. Never mind. Carry on.
but I'm just like, if you have $75,000 and want to spend it on a gala, and the one thing that popped into my little brain because I'm that way, and this was while Trump was in court, Biden came to New York City for a fundraiser, and they were charging thousands of dollars for that fundraiser, but nobody ever said anything about donating to the political campaign.
Hmm.
I'm just like, and Trump does it too. He has big
Yeah.
dinners where there's thousands of dollars a plate and it goes to his camp. Both sides are guilty of it. I don't really believe in this whole cancel culture. If you don't like something, you know what you got to do? Just keep scrolling.
Yeah.
You
Or
think?
don't spend your money there. I agree. I'm done with this canceling stuff. It's baloney.
Yeah. If you don't like Disney and their culture, don't spend your money there. If you don't like, Charmin, don't buy Charmin, buy Scott. It's just I don't need to know your opinion about every little thing.
Exactly. And since you guys are in such, or sorry, since those guys are in such a big, you know, they can't help themselves, they have to cancel everybody they don't like. They're putting people legitimately out of work. They're putting people out of jobs. They are putting people out of business. And guess what? When you get rid of that business, then we don't have a choice anymore. You have left us with one thing that sucks. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. And it could have been so easy for you to just carry on with your life, and you don't like something. You know, tell my when I buy an everything pizza in this house, there's always somebody who doesn't like something. I'm like,
Yeah,
pick it off and don't eat it.
exactly.
I got 4 kids. I can't please everybody. Pick it off and don't eat it. I don't care. Just
Right? You get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
exactly.
But I mean, you're going to throw a fit if you have no other choice. If your pizza only has cheese on it and you want something else, I mean, that's what we're going to be limited to now if people keep canceling everybody and having their little fits. But when
Exactly.
we're starting out with a supreme pizza and you're griping about it and we're getting demoted to a cheese pizza, come on, people. Just eat
That's
supreme and pick off your stupid anchovies.
perfect, perfect analogy on that one. Which, brings me back to another thing that I had put on the list. I saw a meme today about homesteading. And I do believe that prepping and homesteading are really close together. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to apologize for the background noise because I know they are wrestling right outside my door. I'm sorry. But you and I are both homeschoolers. Are we
We
still
were.
homeschoolers? Are we past homeschoolers?
I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'm still educating people.
Okay, so we both homeschooled our kids. We
Uh-huh.
still, but that fits right into that homesteading, that prep. We want to be prepared. We want to, mind our own business. The meme that I saw was
Mm-hmm.
the generation, my father's generation lived through the depression because that's how he was brought up. We
Yeah.
have everything. And if you didn't have something, you didn't run to the store, you made do, or you went and you asked your neighbor.
Right.
And I think we've gotten so far away from that. We just want to cancel everything and have everything just handed to us. I think we need to be prepared. I think we need to become more, not self reliant, but more, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. I think for so long, so many people relied on other people. And I don't know if you ever got this. Why are you homeschooling? Just send your kids away. Let the schools watch them. You
Mm-hmm.
got to be kidding me, right?
Yeah.
But,
Well, when did it become cool to be okay? I don't know. I think I'm about to say something contradictory to what I'm even saying, but okay. So you're talking about relying on other people in your community to get through hard times because no man is an island. We all agree to that. You have to work together, teamwork. But at the same time, somewhere it also became cool to be, I want to say self-sufficient, but not everyone should be self-sufficient to a point because, well, like we said, not every man is an island to himself. You can't supply everything all the time for yourself, but it like almost became cool and macho to be like, I don't need anyone, I can do it all. And I think that was the downfall.
yeah, and yeah, I have to, we live in Texas. Texas is a great state. And you think about the people who came here and settled Texas. Um I took a class at UIW about um basically early Texan literature. And it was just so cool reading the diaries and the writings from these people who came and how they came as communities, but and they worked as a community, but they were each their own individual little pods and each individual families, much like the Amish, who
Yeah.
the Amish is a community, but each family is a separate unit and can rely on itself. but they come together as a community during hard times.
Right. Yep, totally.
So we need some of this, that Texas attitude that the people who founded, and I don't know, what did we do for Texas? I don't, we were our own country sometimes. I don't think that's such a bad idea.
Yeah, apparently, well, that's what they say. Like we were our own country and then we joined the union and we have all these special rights apparently, but I don't know if we actually even still have them. But when we agreed to join the union, we were supposed to have these understandings. And we're the only state that can split into 5 separate states and all those other things. But I don't know if any of that can be done. So it does get interesting when people start talking about Texas seceding and things like that.
I think the rest of the country needs to catch up to where Texas is when it comes to Texas pride.
Mhm.
And not just, we are Texans. We are Texans, but we also are Americans, and I think we show that pride.
A little more than other states lately.
Yeah, there you
Yes.
go.
I agree with you. Like not everybody has to be as pompous as we are about everything is better, bigger and better in Texas, and we are the best, and blah 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 blah. But I mean, come on, this self-loathing, and oh, I hate America and everything has got to go.
Yeah, I agree.
If you don't like it here and it sucks so bad, why are you still here whining? Go where is it better? Go there. No one's stopping you.
And this, I get it that you're right to burn the flag, but it isn't your right to burn that flag and then raise the flag of another country in its place. You're on the wrong
Exactly.
soil to do that. There's too
Yes.
many Americans that gave their blood for your right to burn that flag for you to be raising another flag in its place. That really,
Yeah. And if you feel the need to raise another flag, you need to go to that country and live there.
yep, I agree.
That, there are people that do nothing but tear down and destroy. And I don't know when that became a cool thing to tear up your own home, to tear up your own neighborhood. But we need to remember who we are, where we came from, who our ancestors are, and be the people that build up and restore.
I agree. I saw, and it just broke my heart. I don't know if it was from Columbia University or Harvard, that when she got her diploma, because of all these protests and everything, had ruined her grad. She tore up her diploma.
Really?
I'm like, that's like cutting your nose off to spite your face. You worked hard for that diploma. Don't let somebody else take it from you. I mean,
Right? Well, go ahead and drink your own poison. That made sense.
yeah, but
Yeah, I don't know. So I have to toot my little horn here for just a little second. I am a descendant of Davy Crockett, and I'm very proud of that. And I feel like sometimes maybe that's why I am a pompous Texan, because I feel like I came from a lineage of someone who believed in something, fought for something, turned his back on something that he thought was wrong, and tried to build something better. And I feel like a lot of people in Texas still have that in them. And back to your point, I think that needs to be contagious on all the other states right now.
yeah. We watched, I hate to bring back the horrific happenings of 9/11, but this country really came together after 9/11. And
Yeah.
there's all sorts of conspiracy theories. I don't care about that. But we saw everybody uniting and come together, and they were proud of the flag, and they were proud of our military and our first responders and our president and everything. Why is it that only a tragedy can bring that about?
Well, and at this point, I'm not even sure if a tragedy could, because we have been so successfully divided and pitted against each other.
Yep.
I think and wonder about that sometimes now too, if like another 9/11 would do that. I hope so, but I'm not sure anymore.
This
And
is
not only did we come together, if you think back on that, of course, people younger than us won't remember it, but it wasn't just us that came together. Do you remember that there were other countries that came to our aid and came to our support? There were African countries that were were telling us they would send us their goats because they were so worried about us.
Yep.
Those same countries do not respect us today.
No.
And I can't say that I blame
Yeah. We have lost a lot of, I don't even know if respect is the right word on the world stage.
them. Yeah, I think that's accurate. We have. And I think that I don't know if I know our leaders have lost respect. But I'm hoping that the rest of the world has respect for us as a people and realize that overall the people are not in agreement with what is happening, and these people
One
do
would
not
hope.
represent us.
One
Huh?
would hope. I really
I
hope
would hope.
so. I really honestly hope so. But there are days when I kind of just want to put on my little tinfoil hat and work in my garden and play with my bunnies and my chickens and my dogs and just,
Yep. But do you remember I hate to refer to things like in movies because it's like it's a movie, it's not real. But it's like a universal thing that you can talk about and everyone kind of probably knows what you're talking about or they can go look it up. Do you remember that movie, The Patriot, where,
yes.
oh my gosh, it's another Mel Gibson movie I'm talking about. I must have a thing for this man. But anyway,
He used to be good looking. I haven't seen
I
recent pictures of
know
him, but
he's not so much good looking anymore, but he just needs to clean up a little bit. He'll be fine again. But man, yes, he was so easy on the eyes. But anyway, back to your point. In the Patriot, he had kind of retired from that life of fighting for the things that he believed in. And he had just gone back to his garden and his plantation or, his life, raising his children and
yep.
trying to stay neutral and not involved and keep his children from going into that kind of a thing. And you cannot ignore what is happening because if you do, it will still come to your front door.
Yeah. And I think that's a lot of the reasons why we prep. I can ignore those tornado sirens for quite a while. My husband's
Right.
really, really good at that. Um, there's gonna come a point when it's gonna be crashing through my front door, and I'm not gonna be able to.
Yeah. So yeah, you got to do something. You got to pay attention a little bit. You gotta know what time it is.
But I do think that putting this all with our freeze dryer in our gardens and our chickens and hopefully goats soon for me. I know you already have goats, but I think we need to get back to the point where we aren't depending on other countries for our basic needs. We are learning to depend on each other instead of, and maybe not even depend on each other, but building each other up instead of tearing each other down and dividing them.
Yes.
I think that's a
Yes.
bad look for anybody, whether it be a family, a town, a country. We all need to be united. So, we need to be
I agree.
prepared for that and ready to support everybody. I think Texas is very good at that.
I think so. Um, overall, now there are situations, like sometimes I have lost hope in what you're saying, and I think it's not possible just based on things that have happened in my own personal life in the last couple of years. And I think, wow, if something that happened in my personal life with someone I love very much and I was very close to, and I thought that if the at the end of the world, I would want to spend my life with this person, in the foxhole together, taking care of this person, if it came to that. And I realized that they did not have the same feelings for me and they had other ideas. And, if there was a fire, they would put it out on somebody else before me. I I wonder if our country does have a chance. If we cannot come together on something as simple as your own family ties, if we have been divided that much that when it comes down to it, you will not take care of your own family. You will not choose your own family. You have been let that something stupid divide you. What does that say about our country as a whole? I'm not very hopeful when I think that way, but at the same time, I have to still be hopeful because without hope, there is no future.
And yeah, I think that, you know, we once we've lost hope, then we might as well be communist. I don't know how else to put that, but we always need hope. And I think that we're right back to that Texas thing. The people came to Texas to settle Texas because they had hope that they were going to build that better future and that they were going to make lives for themselves, for their children and their grandchildren. And well, I'm not one of those original. The military brought me here. You are. Um, that's why people still, I think, want to come to Texas. We have a lot of people coming to Texas and coming to Florida because they're coming from those very urban areas, where they want to find a better life, like, New York City, California. Okay, some of those from California were coming for better jobs, but they're still coming with that hope that it's going to be better here. But I think
Right.
that, to to I don't know what word I'm looking to cash in on that thought of let's make it better. Let's bring back that hope instead of pitting against each other, uniting everybody.
Totally in agreement.
But we need to get back to that record keeping too. Let's change the subject. Record keeping for prepping, record keeping for gardening, because you asked me, when can I eat those figs? I have a fig tree. In case you didn't
Yep.
know, I grow figs. Last year was the first year that my fig tree really, really, really produced.
Mhm.
Do I remember when we took the first fig off that tree and ate it? Do I remember when we first started getting cucumbers? No. I think this all needs to be in that handbook. So we know that every year we plant cucumbers and this is when we have pickles from beginning to end. This is the time when I need to go out and I need to start harvesting the figs. This is when I need to order those baby chickens, because if I wait too long, I'm not going to have them and they need to be acclimated by the time it gets hot outside.
Or cold or yeah, whatever.
All that record keeping and freeze
Yeah.
drying. Well, we've already established the fact that we need to, I'm on the 19th. I know the next time I need to do my oil change. So
Right. And plan that into your schedule accordingly. Yeah. And so even if you're putting down when the first time was you harvested your figs or whatever, it may not be an exact science to come out the same next year, but it gives you an idea of what you're aiming for and like, wow, like I guess we're not going to get the figs this year. We did something wrong or and then you need to
exactly.
note that and what happened. So like the next year, maybe you can avoid whatever happened and went wrong.
Yeah. Record keeping, whether, and when you're prepping, you need to be rotating those foods. And if you don't have a record, like I said, I put on my Mylar bag, I've got it by numbers. So I can go back into my records and say, oh, I did this on such and such a date. It was this hot out, if there's in the humidity, and it was processed this long. I have all that information tied
Yeah.
to.
So see, I thought I was doing really great. I was just putting the date that I packaged it on there and the weight. And like I see the need for saying what you're doing, going a step beyond what load number that was and what maybe the temperature was that day or whatever, because I see how that could be, crucial and beneficial.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you get one bad package. Oh shoot. Well, I know that I need to go find the loads that was before this, after this, during this, whatever, and check those too.
Or this one tastes like pickles. Did I do the pickles before, after, or with this load? Because I can see me doing that, because I'm just pickle chips is my next load, because I want to do the pickles and then I want to change my oil. So my 20th load is going to be pickle chips.
See, that's another great reason to be planning ahead so you can do something nasty that you don't want to affect your next brand new fresh batch of oil.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, speaking of that, do you know what you're doing for dinner? Because I'm,
Yeah, I have no idea. No clue. I might maybe I'll just break open one of my thingies and check my food out.
ooh, now we did eggs. We did raw eggs.
Hmm.
Um, last week. I did some yesterday, but we did some last week. So this weekend, we usually do like one big, pancake and bacon breakfast. And we got out the raw eggs and did that. They taste like they just came out of the freezer. We just add a little bit of water and we let them rehydrate, and then we put them in the frying pan and did them up like scrambled eggs with cheese. They were really good.
That's awesome. So I have not tested my eggs that I freeze dried. I'm hoping I did them right my first time so that I don't mess up the next batch. So I need to test those and make sure before I do another batch. So I don't want to do it wrong.
Yep.
But that's good news to hear. And I'm glad to hear that since they're powdered, they're not like nasty powdered eggs. They
No,
taste like, oh,
they were good.
oh, that's exciting.
Yep.
See, that's all the reason right there. Who wants to buy those nasty powdered eggs? You want your eggs to taste like eggs.
I was in the army. Do you know how many times I ate breakfast in the mess hall with those nasty powdered eggs? Come on. Yuck. Anyways. Okay, well, you
Oh,
have a good what?
wait, we forgot. We are actually planning to do some future episodes together in person, side by side.
Oh, yes, definitely. So Texas is a big state. It's not like, we're the next town over. We actually live several hours apart.
Like 5.
Yeah, that's several in Texas.
But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to that. And like, I can't wait.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping we get a lot of shorts and at least one episode, maybe 2, who knows. We can all fit in the same screen. We can both fit in the same screen.
Right. So yeah, we are learning how to do this. We are working out our kinks. We are getting familiar with it. And it will be exciting. So if you think of things you'd like us to do together, maybe places you would like us to visit, because there is, 5 hours of distance between us. Sometimes we'd like to meet up like halfway, see the sights, do some things. Sometimes maybe I'll go to Judy's house, whatever. So
And
who
I can
knows?
come visit you. I mean, we know I am not opposed to getting in the car and driving for hours in a day.
Yeah. But instead of coming to my house, let's go somewhere great.
Okay. Okay. I'll give you. I can understand that.
Listen to me. You can tell I want to go on a road trip really bad.
Leave your suggestions out there. We would love to have more subscribers. We don't have that many. As a matter of fact, I probably can name them all. So subscribe because you want to, who knows what's going to come out of our mouths next week or the week after, because we are a little loco. So hit that subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and leave comments for us. Let us know what you're thinking and what you'd like to see in the future.
Absolutely. See you next time.
Bye.